Hello and welcome to With Wellner Anderson. Today we're going to talk about something that's special to me. It's about the national eviction moratorium, or the federal eviction mandate that has just ended. Well, first of all, my channel is about explaining things that are business, financial, economic, or political things in simple terms. The thing about the COVID declaration is that it's a temporary suspension done by the CDC for health reasons. The problem I have with it is no one's talking about it in the media, and no one has any idea how much this is going to cost. From the research I've done, I've seen estimates about $10 billion a month. That's $1,000 to the 10th power. It's also an 11-digit number. If you compound that for a year and you pile $100 bills one on top of the other, it would reach halfway to the moon. And just 2% debt, 2% raising the debt would add $200 million a month. I estimate that it's about $120 billion over the course of 12 months. That's what it's going to cost us. It's a lot of money. Well, the coming financial crisis, where the CDC gets involved, starts back in 1944 when the Public Health Services Act came to being. Again, to stress the point, it's just a delay. When the CARES Act came out in 2020, it allowed for $700 billion, and part of that was the Public Housing Fund, which covered rent, it covered water, heat, internet, and electricity. It postponed them. At the end of the moratorium, or even before I get to the end, the landlords can't evict you, or they couldn't evict you. They couldn't file papers, they could not schedule a court date, and the sheriff could not physically come to your house. How that was done is something called a declaration. Now, a declaration, the interesting thing about a declaration is that it assumes that you're telling the truth. There's no way to check whether what you're saying is true. It has income limits. You fill out a declaration. If you had made less than $95,000 single or $150,000 as a family, you qualify with the following conditions. Please note, in major metropolitan areas, that income is not even sufficient for most families to live in normal conditions. You have to have or have had no history of default. You had to have had no other violations. And you must have shown during the declaration that you're seeking help. There were medical exemptions. No other documentation was needed other than your say-so. In August 26, 2021, the Supreme Court vacated the CDC mandate. And the challenge with the CDC mandate, the reason why they vacated it was because the issues they had with the Alabama Association of Realtors and certain states had raised the issue that they could not afford this extension. Judge Kavanaugh of the Supreme Court said that he left it basically up to Congress to authorize whether or not this could continue. Eventually, the mandate was dropped down to the states, and the states had to handle this issue. Let me talk about the landlords. 70% of the landlords are small landlords. They have establishments, or they have 5 buildings or less. It's tremendous stress on them. The landlords must continue to pay the maintenance, the taxes, the mortgages, and all the utilities, while the tenant may not be providing any money to the landlord. Now, the issue under normal situations, $4 billion, is typically goes is what the landlords could cost them to remove people under normal conditions if there was no COVID. Normally, they would spend about $50 billion in just repairs. So this is still passed on. The landlord still has to pay for the repairs as the mandate continues. Typically, there are 8 to 11 million families, or I should say million families in America that we think fit into this void. We don't really, or the government really has no idea how big this is. We know that 50 million family members lost a member out of the workforce during COVID. These families have very little savings. They live month to month. They're usually single family households, minority households, families with children. And the thing about it is that a lot of these people have no prospects for future employment. These jobs that were lost because of COVID and the knowledge economy and technology may never return. That may leave us in effect with really 2 types of jobs. The $17 an hour job at Amazon and the $300,000 job doing some crypto engineering. Retooling and re-educating of people who don't have the skill sets. A lot of these people are between the ages of 40 and 65. You can't retool them. There's no way to re-educate them. Also, there's a lot of fragile small businesses that are going to go under. It's going to encourage people to go into gig type jobs, which is happening already. And the issue that is really, I think about, is this some type of employment gentrification? I mean, is this some type of thing that's come down the line that's going to make the inequality between the haves and the have-nots even greater? Does the knowledge economy bring this? Again, your government, the American government, has no idea how large this problem is. This problem could be a massive problem, but no one is attending to it. Please, write your congressmen, write your senators, let them know that you're concerned with what's going to happen to all these people and all the landlords once the money ends. I'd like to thank you very much for your time. Please give me a thumbs up, please subscribe, and have a great day. Bye.